hello, and welcome to my house. Woohoo! All right, my name is Victoria Heeks Knight, and I am your host here on Hockey Talk. Today, I do apologize for the late videos, but I am going to be covering the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Detroit Red Wings from April 4th, okay, 2025. So basically, there were things that happened in this game that I felt should be discussed, should be talked about. So we're going to start with the pregame. There was a new rookie that made his debut. His number is 46. I am not for sure how you pronounce his name, so if you know, keep it cute and put it in the comments below. Um, Then there were interviews with Rod, Brenda Moore, State Coven, and Seth Jarvis from the end of the Capitals game. And, everyone seemed to be in good spirits about that particular game. That particular game, we definitely showed up and showed out. The next thing that was mentioned in the pregame was that the Red Wings are still looking for a wild card spot in the playoffs at that particular time. I don't know if it's changed since then. I didn't look into that. Um, there was an interview with Stankoven during his pregame warm-ups, and again, Capitals game, there was discussion about him coming out in street clothes for star of the game at the end of the Capitals game. And like I said in my video talking about the Canes versus the Capitals, that was one of my all-time favorite moments. There were also a lot of highlights from other games, particularly goals done by Seth Jarvis, Stankoven, and many others, Aho, etc. Uh, and then there was a live interview with head coach Rod Brindamore. Mm, most most mostly proud. He definitely was giving the proud papa vibes, proud dad vibes about the Capitals game. And he also was like, yeah, they definitely held their own against the Caps. And, that was 100% accurate. There were many moments where there had to be, you know, we had to hold our own. And they did that. And that is awesome. Number 46 has done it right. Again, he was asked about the rookie. I apologize. I do not know the rookie's name. I've only heard it a handful of times. If you know, keep it cute and put it in the comments below. But basically, Rod was asked about the new rookie and number 46, and he said yes, he has done well. He has, worked his way up and has earned a chance, and that's the right way to go about finding, a good player, someone who works hard and deserves to be rewarded. There was also discussion about the power play. And again, this circles back to the Caps game. We did great on the power play. Killing power play, taking shots on goal during our power plays. We did really well with that during those games. Um, Going into the Red Wings game, it was also mentioned that Stahl, Orlov, and Svetch are out for injury. They Yeah. So, still not clear what happened to Svechny and or Orlov or Stahl. Not sure what happened there. All right, let's get into first period. First period was very, very interesting because we had Kachekov in goal. As I have said in my previous videos, Kachekov is a very, very good goalie when he's on. When he's not on, you don't really know what you're getting. And so I feel like, or I think, I should say, I think like I said, I think he's a good goalie and a good player. And it's like you need those players to balance out. And I don't, and there's been moments of brilliance for Kachekov. Look at the Flyers game, for example. That happened a couple weeks ago. He had, I believe that was Kachekov. It might have been Freddie Anderson. Either way, whoever was in that game, awesome. So he was in goal that night. Um, he also did have a crazy save around 13:20 ish. And then unfortunately around 10:30 ish in the first period, Red the Red Wings had one goal, and then around 10:27 ish, they turned around and had another goal. Okay, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I blame physics. I 100% do. I blame physics. So the final score going out of that first period was 0-2 Red Wings. The thoughts I have on this particular period is this was one of the most surprising periods because of the way the Canes played this period, right? It was almost like they were not a cohesive team. I don't want to say it's almost like we suddenly forgot how to play hockey. I'm not, it wasn't quite that dire, but it was definitely, definitely, definitely a questionable first period. So it almost was to me it was almost like they weren't on the same page. So maybe yeah. All right. Let's talk second period. There was a Jarvis Blake score. I believe it was Jarvis who assisted Blake in getting a goal. Fifth hour, Kachekov had a great one-on-one save, and he actually kept his stick. If you've been watching the Canes for a while, you know that Kachekov has a history of losing his stick. He kept it. So that's a good thing. And then he did. So honestly, I'm not really sure how this happened. Again, I blame physics for this one. But there was a goal scored on Kachekov not too long after that where a player came around and literally scooped it in from behind the net. And good on him for finding that opening, but also I'm like that's I don't know where to go with that personally. Because that's one of those goals unless you see it, you can't do anything about it. And I think that's what happens a lot of time with Kachekov is sometimes he legitimately does not see it, so he can't react. Robinson to get a goal. Then long story short, the score at the end of the second period was 4-2 Red Wings. Here are my thoughts on this period. This period was in the same vein as the first. There were good plays, yes. There were good shots on goal. Yes. However, there was a lack of puck control and there were way too many interceptions. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a hockey player, but it seemed to me that Kochetkov was rattled by the first period. I don't know, but that's how it came across to me. All right, let's talk about this third period. The third period, good pressure to keep the puck on the Red Wings side of the ice. They woke up a little bit. Aho had great shot attempts, great shots on goals by the Canes on the power play. Uh, I would also say that Kokanyemi also had a handful of great goal attempts, and they really kept the pressure on the Red Wings. Their number 77 did get a goal with an assist by Burns. Aho also had a good defensive play behind the net, and lots of playing on the Red Wings side of the ice. So we did spend a lot of time on their ice in the third period. The final score, unfortunately, was 5-3 Red Wings. Let's talk about the game. So, this was not the game we thought we were getting or going to see. We have beaten the Red Wings before. So, it would not be out of the question going into this game to think we would do it again. A little cocky, probably. Underestimation on our part. Yes. However, we did not come to play this game until the third period. Now, I have talked about this before in my other videos. You cannot, in a game like hockey, you cannot, under any circumstances, wait until the third period to show up and show out. That is a problem. By then, it is too late, way too late, to actually be able to, play your game. By then, you're desperate. Don't wait till the fucking third period to show up. Mm. Anyway, anyway, yeah. Anyway, I that's all I have to say on that for now. Here are my thoughts. I know it's hard to play hard on a game where you're traveling. Okay. I know it's hard to go from, the bus or the car, or the plane, or all of the above and go and play hard all the time. That takes its toll on you mentally, physically, all the above. But you have the first 40 minutes, two periods, to make something happen, to make some sort of magic happen. And we didn't. You can't just wait to show up and show out at the 30-minute or the third period. That's not how this works. And it's not just in hockey. It's in football, it's in soccer, it's in any sport. You cannot wait that long. Now, our players did make good plays. They made good shots on the goal. They did good defensive plays. But we still lost. And as always, when you have a talented team like what we have at Carolina Hurricanes, it's always hard to see them lose. Now, here's my favorite moments. Unfortunately, I only have one. Well, I'll make it two. The goals that we did make, and seeing all of the highlights from prior games in the pre-game, and also all the talk about the Capitals game. So that, I guess that's actually three. I can count, but yeah, like I say, so so many good plays, so many good goal attempts, but also at the same time, you can't wait to the last period. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a good day wherever you are. That's all I have for this video today. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. And as always, thank you so much for coming to my house.